It is 9 o'clock in the morning and 40 seconds is when I about started my show over here. And it is Wednesday. Can you believe it? It's Wednesday, the 3rd of December. Why? AD 2025. Here. Can I grab? Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. Why is it doing this? 2025 AD. Here, let me do this. I think I know how to do this. Hold on. Nice. Now I can see it big. Well, let me do this. Let me show you guys what I'm trying to do over here. Oh, here, program. Now I'm like stuck because I'm such a boomer over here. This is part of the show, okay, guys? I'm doing this on purpose. See here, my mouse is right here. My cursor. Oh, nice! I did finally get it. This so supposedly helpful. Whom do I blame? Do I blame the Microsoft guy? Do I blame Bill Gates? What's that? Yeah, the guy who founded Microsoft, right? Google, yeah. Google is evil. But nice. Anyway, I forget where I was, but it was, it's AD 2025. It's the 3rd of December, 2025 AD. Men's Forum is tomorrow night already, all right? Men's Forum tomorrow night. You can call in. Some of you guys are already on hold. 888-77-JESSE. 1-888-775-3773. And we're going to have a fun, hopefully, loosey-goosey, the Häjk Report. All right? TheHakeReport.com. And that's how you can find, by the way, the buymeacoffee.com/the Häjk Report. It's right there on the thing. I'm walking backwards on that trail. That's in Manhattan Beach neighborhood, leading towards Manhattan Beach. FYI. I recommend it. It's chill. Although, you know, I did report about that beating just down the road in Hermosa Beach, and some of those Hermosa Beach man or woman, a man I think, got beaten with his own pizza box and with punches and kicks and stomps as well by children from Manhattan Beach Middle School, California. It's terrible. What does that say? Dedicated to Paul Ian Sharples. Died at the tender age of like 17, 18. So we're going to have a fun show, hopefully, all right? I think I already said that. Let me make sure that I'm live on my platforms. The views expressed on Hake do not represent Hake, nor Bond, nor JLP. I don't even represent myself. It's true. You know, you can, you know, and the callers, they don't even really represent themselves, much less do they represent me. And my super chatters, same thing. Even when I say like, yeah. You know, when these feds call in and say, hang Mike Pence. Nobody's ever called in and said, hang Mike Pence. And I like feds. I talk to them. Feds are okay sometimes. Why all this Fed hate? It doesn't represent me, all right? And it doesn't represent Bond or JLP. And also, it might be false information, okay? So know that. Be aware. Beware and be aware that the info here, some of it may be false. All right? Hey! How did I miss that? I see a Cash App here from Nikki. Buy me a coffee. Thank you, Nikki. Oh, yeah, no. That's not a Cash App from me, for me. That's from Nikki on Buy Me a Coffee. I Cashed App it to Derek, like a couple of weeks ago. Thank you, Nikki. She's like, pass this along. What is her middle name, Greggatron? Pass this over to what's his name for me. Nice. Very nice. Anyway, so mild confusion over here. Greggatron did buy me a couple of coffees on buymeacoffee.com/the Häjk Report, and that's cool. We will get to those. I was amused. Hey, Greggatron. Thank you, sir. Also gave me a couple of super chats already here on the Häjk Report YouTube channel. And what's up, Groovy Monkey? I didn't know that Groovy Monkey watched the Häjk Report for years before even catching JLP. Huh, imagine that. Thank you, sir. Yeah, and unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know, maybe Robert is a Fed? I'm kind of kidding around, Age of Inversion. I totally don't know. I don't think that they're Feds. Isn't that nice? So, not only might the info be false, but you may be misinterpreting, okay? So just take your own thoughts with a grain of salt, meaning neither believe them nor disbelieve them, perhaps, you know, like the stuff here and all that. Lots of news is happening, whether we get to it or not, all right? Some of it doesn't, probably most of it really doesn't matter. So, you know, don't get worked up. If you do, then, you know, just watch yourself, all right? And so same with the attitudes here. Some of the attitudes here, out of me, out of my callers and super chatters, although they may seem authoritative, although I seem so authoritative, I may be wrong, all right? So, nice. With that, everyone, I think that's enough of a disclaimer, right? Disclaimer. Let's just get right on with the show. Oh, was that too loud? Show.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Häjk Report. The Häjk Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Häjk Report. The Häjk Report. La la la.
Hey guys! So, how you guys doing? I'm fine. I'm doing just fine. I have the Häjk Report La 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 t-shirt on. I know I wear it all the time. Whatever. It's yellow. It's medium. Is it medium or is it medium or is it medium? To me, it's just about, I don't know. I don't know. It's okay. It's nice. Whatever. Isn't that nice? That is nice. All right. So I wanted to get to some calls here before too long. Okay. And oh, you know what? But before I get to those calls, since I mentioned them, let us come over here. Mosey on over to the Häjk Report and check out these super chats over here. Thank you guys. It's nice. Greggatron says, I'm ready. Always ready. He exercises, by the way. He does like 100 squats with like a 45-pound bar, and he's not some small person. He's a huge man. Guys, says Greggatron, and blood or water, something or other. Shall I zoom out a little bit to see? Yeah, blood or water. I stuck up for you. Wait, here, let me. Should I go to the person's channel? Not to dox, but just to. Blood or water 183. I stuck up for you. Someone saying you eat whatever sandwiches. I said, nope, you're allergic to bread. The great Hake is your daddy. Thank you. Much appreciation. All right, so moving forward. Did I close out my buy me a coffee? If you go over here on thehäkereport.com, there is, not seen quite, but there is this. All right, you see that? And if you go over here, you can see the buy me a coffee thing. And you can see the recent coffees. And if you go click here, you can go right to them, right to the page. It's over on thehäkereport.com. And they're not loading because of whatever reason. I know why. I feel like I know why. But it's not important. Yep, it's not important. In the meantime, I would like to get to... what in the world? What? Look at this. Useless. Anyway. Let me do this. I'm such a boomer. Let me get to William 7 out of California on the line here. William 7. Number 7, that is. How you doing, sir? Thank you for calling and holding, man.
Hey there, Häjk. You are welcome. Perfect timing. I'm just left the bank.
Nice.
So I was talking to the teller guy who goes to one of the churches I frequent. You know, he said that it costs, about the whole penny thing, he was saying that, you know, we got a lot of blanks already. So the cost of the penny is the raw material, even though it's just a slight percentage of copper. And so basically we have a lot of blanks. So what happened is they stopped making the blanks because that's where all the cost came from, was the raw material.
Oh.
So this year they're just not going to mint anymore. But they got boxes and boxes that he says will take a good year and a half, maybe 2 years to go through. And then he said the nickel costs 17 cents to make. The dime costs 8 cents to make. And because it's so small, so not that much material.
Okay.
And then he forgot what the quarter was. But yeah, I got some truth from a banker about what's really going on with the. So there's really going to be no phase out of the penny. They just stopped. He signed an order, I guess, to stop minting them.
How much? Yeah, we're no longer minting the pennies because they cost 4 cents to make 1 penny. Doesn't even make sense. And how much does it cost?
No, I think it's more. I think it's more.
More
it's
than
like
4 cents? Oh, okay. Well, how much?
I'm sorry. You're right. I'm so sorry. Yeah.
How much does it cost to make a nickel? Did you say?
He said 17 cents.
17
how much
cents?
Nickel? Yes.
Depending on how much nickel they use.
Anything about that?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then dimes are 8 cents to make a dime, thankfully.
Yes, they actually still are in the profit because then I asked, well, how much do those people make at the mint? I'm like, are they making $60 an hour?
Good
to sit around
question.
and just make sure the machines keep going?
Well, that's probably
The blanks
factored. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, because the blanks are already made, and so they're made years in advance.
Yeah.
Well, if you think about it, we've been at it for a while.
Right.
So, yeah.
We're making pennies on the dime.
Right.
Something like that.
So, yeah, he's just funny. He said some people are coming in and just buying pennies because they think they're, they finally had to say no to this one guy.
Yeah.
And I just think it's funny. And then So anyway, I was hoping to get online with JLP. I can't believe I've actually, last few times I've tried, I got through, but then he can't get to me.
Yeah.
Which is fine. So I was going to answer the biblical question, and I know you. Yeah, sometimes you cringe at that. So
yeah.
If you don't mind, and I know you're well read because you sound like you were raised in the kind of church I go to. Because I do listen to your guys' show.
Yep.
And you have a lot of similar experiences and upbringings, and the VTS during the summer, and you went to probably youth camp, and you read the Bible, and you went to maybe not, maybe because you went to a Christian college, right?
Yeah, I read the Bible before and during college.
But you did it yourself, wanting to learn and know the truth, right? It came from within you and not being forced upon you like by parents.
Right.
So I think there's a difference when that happens.
Yeah. A little bit, maybe.
I mean, yeah. Well, again, I don't know what your parents grew up in, but we were raised Catholic, and so that's very archaic and very ritualistic and very supposedly, according to them, the oldest religion. They claim because of what?
So they claim.
Because of when Jesus said, "I'm going to build this church on this rock." That's real.
What?
And
so, what did you want to say?
Who want to say?
What did you want to say?
Oh, I was just going to say hi, but I was at the bank and I wasn't listening to what you were going over. So I'm sorry, man. The biblical question. So basically, the biblical question, if I'm not mistaken, is: are you affected by words? And if so, why or why not? Right?
Yeah.
So if true religion is being present and being in a moment, then the only way and the only reason why one should be affected by words is if those words are meant for you, they're from God through someone else, to let you know you're either mistaking about something, or someone's trying to reveal some truth to you, no matter what the realm is, whether it's practical, because you can even be an expert at something and still, make a mistake or not have part of the equation or some of the factors. But the only reason why you should be affected is in your behavior if you're being ungodly, not loving, and someone's pointing it out to you. And whether they're doing it in a loving way or not, you should be willing to be taught. And so I say the only reason why I should be affected by words is those words bring me truth and light.
Oh, okay.
And that's what I think God wants us to do, so we can live peacefully on earth.
Yeah.
All people, all creeds, all colors, all continents. And I don't know if we're close or not, Hake. Who knows? Like I said, I met some Somalians I told you a couple of months back at this park I go to at Mount Shasta. And the one guy was hard to crack. He looked pissed off, but once he realized I wasn't trying to be a racist, he finally opened up. And when I asked about their scriptures in Africa, if they know anything, do they have their own biblical writings? And he goes, "What do you mean?" I, for example, said the flood. You guys, you hear that there's flood stories in all cultures. So I figured, here's a guy from Africa, from Somalia. And he said the flood is in your mind. I was like, what? So that kind of caught me off guard.
Interesting.
But he finally lightened up and was smiling. But he was, and so, and I understand Somalia was one of those countries put on that list that Trump just did. So,
yep.
Very interesting. Yeah. So anyway,
Thank you.
That's my answer to the biblical question.
I appreciate that, William Seven. It's good to hear from you. Take care.
Back to work.
Nice.
Take care. Bye.
All right. And DEBORAH in Hermosa Beach, California. Hermosa Beach. Deborah the Beautiful, California. How you doing?
Thank you.
Yeah.
So last time we spoke, I was in Oregon after the accident, but now I'm
Come
back.
closer to your receiver. You're coming in muffled.
How come I always come in muffled to you?
I don't think you always do. Maybe you do.
Okay, I'm sitting still. I'm at the receiver.
And you're speaking into the phone?
I'm speaking into the phone. It's right next to my ear.
It's coming in inconsistently. I wonder if you just have a bad signal and it's a spotty signal.
I mean, I talked to like 3 people this morning.
And did they all complain?
Not a single one. You know what it is? It's the devils. They don't want me to get this information out.
Yeah, because sometimes it gets loud, but most of the time it's quiet and muffled.
Interesting.
Yeah, I guess.
How's that? Is that any better?
Yeah, that does seem a little better.
So what happened is we have a bunch of e-bike kids, 13, 14, 15, riding around like crazed maniacs. If you were in Manhattan, you probably saw it.
Do they take over the street kind of thing?
Not really, but they ride down the middle of the street. I mean,
Yeah.
they're mostly a bunch of punk wannabe surfer boys, things like that in upper middle class neighborhoods. And it's the mob mentality. So when they get together, they act up and they zip in and out of traffic.
Right.
So what happened was they attacked this man, and the Hermosa officials came out and blamed the victim. They said that the victim, the old man, the 56-year-old man, which is my age, he approached them. So it got the whole community in an uproar. So we had a meeting
against the mayor.
Yes.
Was that the Hermosa Beach mayor or the Manhattan Beach mayor?
Hermosa.
Okay.
Hermosa was the one that blamed the victim.
Wow. What a jerk.
So we all had a town meeting the other night, and we were all down there, asking questions and demanding answers and putting them on blast, because there's also rumors that, two of them are the sons of the city officials.
Yes, some of the parents turn their own kids in because they recognize them. Whoa. There's a pizza
but
box.
They've only arrested
beating.
2 of the 5.
Those aren't little kids. Those are teens, if you will.
They're vicious.
Yeah.
Because they now have.
And what are they? Are they black, Hispanic, white?
No,
what?
they're white.
Wow.
They're
Degenerate.
white, and there might be one mixed kid in there. You know what I'm saying? They might have their token mixed kid in there, but it's mainly like white, the white community.
Regular white or Jewish white?
I don't know.
Or Hispanic white?
I think a couple of them might have been Hispanic white.
Yeah.
But they were all Americans. They were all Americans.
So wow, so they're not even like immigrant kids. Because Manhattan Beach is a pretty nice upscale sort of neighborhood. So is Hermosa, I think.
And you know how much those e-bikes cost?
Oh, those aren't just like city e-bikes or Uber e-bikes. Those are ones that...
No, they're personal.
So they're like little motorcycles, really, but with pedals.
Yeah. And it's been an ongoing problem because they're whipping around town. Like, let's say you just go like down the main drag on Hermosa Ave or whatever. So there 5 of them will get in front of your car and just drive down the street like they're motorcycles in front of your car going, zip. It's scary.
Yeah.
So we were addressing the town council the other night because everybody is so angry that they blamed the victim originally. So they had to come out and make an apology and say that's not what they meant. They had to backtrack their words and what have you. But it's a major
This happened Saturday night or Sunday night?
Gosh, when was it?
It was over the weekend, though.
Yeah, I don't remember. I was so busy. It was crowded.
That's so crazy.
Parking, because Hermosa, there's hardly any parking to begin with. But you could hardly find parking. People were like, everybody was comical and collective because they were all white.
Yeah.
So, they were very comical and collective, but you could see the concern and the anger, and it is a major problem down here. And I would like to see them get convicted and have to register as gang members for the rest of their lives.
Whoa.
What they did was, that's what gangs do.
Yeah, those are big tire bikes. Those, they look like motors. They look and drive like motorcycles.
They're the fat tires.
Except
they're the fat tire electric bikes.
Except they don't make noise like motorcycles do, so you don't know when they're coming. Exactly. And they get in traffic and everything.
And then they go up and down the Strand, and I really think they need to pass a law that you have to be 18 to drive one, or you're going to have to have a driver's license or something, because these kids are so irresponsible. Parents today don't care what their children are doing.
That's terrible. That's rough.
It's really sad state of affairs that we're living in, but I have personally been affected by them. They've gotten in front of my car.
Yeah.
They have zipped past me in and out of traffic, because I'm always in and out of that area because I'm in Redondo Beach now.
Okay.
So I'm always, going in and out of that area, and they're zipping by, and they, and then you get that fear in your heart, like, oh my gosh, I almost hit him. I almost hit him.
And they'll attack, the whole gang will attack you. Like you said, they're basically a gang. Yeah, they'll attack your car. They'll pull you out of the car if they can.
There's no basically about it.
Yeah.
They are a gang. They are an e-bike gang. And people say, why are you blaming the e-bike? Because that's what they're using as their weapon.
What a
Their
mess.
weapon is their e-bike because they're using it to zip in and out, commit their crime. And it's not like they're stealing. They're just causing havoc
Yeah.
because, they have so much anger inside of them, like Jesse says.
Yep.
They're not getting the attention at home. They have no discipline, and they're just running amok. And their parents bought them the e-bike, a $2,000, $3,000 e-bike, and
That's
said,
crazy.
use it to go to school.
Yep.
Yeah, and they're like, well, what about all the hills? I'm like, I've lived here since 1988, and we were capable of getting to school and back without e-bikes for decades.
I know. You walk to school, or you catch the bus, or you drive
Or
if
you
you're
ride
15
some
and a
regular
half.
bikes.
Yeah, you ride a
ride
regular
some regular
bicycle. Exactly. And you lock it up, and what a mess. Spoiled people, man.
So there was no solution. I mean, they just said it's an ongoing investigation. 2 of them have been arrested. We're demanding to know the names. We're demanding to know if any of the kids have any connections with any of the city officials, because that's the rumor.
Yeah.
That if a couple of the kids had connections with the city officials, that's why they blame the victim.
That's crazy.
So
it's the 21st of November. So that was...
Yeah.
Oh, so that was over a week ago, I guess.
Yeah, that was, I don't remember.
Not this past weekend, but the weekend before, I guess.
Yeah.
It's just kind of gained traction because it went, because there's video footage of it. I guess it's security camera. And that's enough to drive some outrage. Kind of like any type of footage.
Well, we were already angry, but what really set people over the top and triggered them was when they came out and blamed the victim.
Yeah.
That's when everybody
crazy.
bonded together, because it could have been any one of us.
What a mess.
It could have been me.
I know,
It could have been me walking home from the Strand. I walk home all the time because I'm right here in the beach, and I walk home all the time. And it could have, that was our mentality. This could have been me. And we're standing by that man, and I think he's getting an attorney, and he's going to sue and do all kinds of stuff, which I think he should.
Sue who?
And I think the names are going to be released.
Yeah.
Guess who was at the meeting?
Who?
Peter Brady.
What? I don't recognize that name.
From the Brady Bunch?
Oh.
Christopher Knight?
Yeah, okay. So is he like a grandpa now, or a...
Yeah, he's a total grandpa. He lives down here. He's been down here for decades. But,
Okay. That's funny.
Yeah, he lives down here. Everybody was like, Peter Brady. Everybody's like, who cares about Peter Brady? We're talking about these thugs.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. People were like, quit worshiping celebrities. Who cares if Peter Brady is here?
Yeah.
It was kind of a funny. It was a nice event to see the community get together the way they did, like-minded. It's sad that this is what brought us together, but it was just really amazing to see the community come together. So if anything good came out of this, I'm going to say that the community, it's bringing the community together. You know what I mean?
Whatever.
What do you mean?
That's kind of like 9/11 brought the country together. That's fake stuff. Man.
Yeah, but it might be fake stuff, but you still got to see. It's like Christmas, bringing the family together. Fake stuff, right?
Yeah.
But you still get to see the family once a year.
This is too disturbing. I don't like seeing people get beaten up. I'm looking at the video footage while you're talking here.
Oh, it was horrible.
Yeah, that's
And
nasty.
scary.
Evil.
We've never seen anything like that here.
And then they act like kids are innocent victims. They're not innocent. Do you remember being a kid? You were an innocent victim. You were an evil kid, right? I remember I was kind of an evil kid.
Yeah, we always were up to something.
I was a good kid, but I was an evil good kid,
Yeah, you're always up to something, see what you can get away with. But I don't remember committing this kind of violence.
Right. Of course not, because you weren't that far gone on that level. But still, like,
exactly. These
kids are not innocent.
Far gone.
Yeah.
They are so far gone. And anyways, I just wanted to touch bases, tell you I'm back in town. I heard you were walking through Manhattan.
Yeah, I was.
Redondo.
I went. Yeah, I haven't been down quite as far as Redondo yet, but hopefully I'll get back there soon.
We're so far.
I know it's not that far.
All the way down to Redondo.
Well, it's fun hearing from you, Deborah. Thank you for the update.
You too. Okay, you're welcome. Have a blessed day.
You as well. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so in the news, briefly run down through the news, there was a special election in the, for what? I don't know why they had a special election, but the Republican won, like he was supposed to win. And it was closer than it was when it was Trump versus Kamala. But of course, whatever. It's not surprising. So congratulations to that man who won. Hope you are a good congressman. You know, for Tennessee. Very nice. I liked your name better than the foreigner's name. Matt Van Epps is the guy who won in Tennessee. Forgive me. What's amusing to me is Sabrina Carpenter. You've heard of her? She's a singer gal. Of course she's a liberal because she's a talented singer gal and she's young, and old singer gals are ridiculous liberals too, if you'll forgive me saying it. If I go over to Commie Nonsense Network and Far Left Extremist AP, here, let me find Sabrina. She's the one who sings that one song that sounds to me similar to the Janet Jackson one. It's all for you. And she sings another song that's, to me, reminiscent of that, because it's like high-pitched, and she's a singer. So, congratulations, Sabrina Carpenter, on being a good singer. Your politics stink. But the white on the inside White House, I'm not particularly a fan of their social media action. I like Trump's truths on Truth Social. I love Trump's truths. The truths Trump posts on Truth Social. The truths Trump truths on Truth Social. I sometimes retruth. Truth posted by truthed by Trump. Anyway, that's what it's called when you truth on Truth Social, all right? The White House social media team is supposedly in hot water. One of the world's biggest pop stars. Wow, who knew she's biggest pop star? There she is. Kind of degenerate gal, but take everything that you hear from me with a grain of salt. All right? So whatever. No, don't sign me into anything. Leave me alone. But I like that one song from her, and she probably has other good songs. Grammy winner. Who knew? I didn't know. But she's all, do not ever involve me or my music in a benefit your inhumane agenda. And what's inhumane? They're arresting people and whatever. This video is evil and disgusting. Oh, cool. Thank you for posting and showing it to us. Okay, so this is the thing that has her songs. Her song. So you caught a glimpse of the music there, right? Here, let me... So that's her voice. And so it's... What they're doing is... Is that a... Who is that? Here, let me crank the volume back up, but have it paused. Because I don't want to... And then I'll mute it again. So they're arresting the criminals and illegal alien people. I wanted to say American to sound politically correct for the sake of the channel, you know? But, nice. I thought that was an ICE agent or a National Guardsman. But they're getting these people, and they're running from the cops. I don't think it's right to run from the cops. If you run from the cops, basically you should be arrested just for running from the cops. I know that it's not a crime to run from the cops if you're not under arrest, but you spot a cop and you run. That's like, why'd you do that? Remember Freddie Gray? He spotted the cops, and according to the story, he just ran from them. But I don't like this because it is using all this, the White House. It just doesn't hit for me. Let me show over here one of these lower headlines. Sabrina Carpenter and Franklin the Turtle publisher condemn the Trump administration's use of their work. So Franklin the Turtle was, you may recognize him. I don't know if they will have a picture here. Okay, no, not really. Later, not interested. But they've been using the copyrighted content and gotten away with it. Beloved children's character, Franklin the Turtle, and he's over there shooting drug boats from a helicopter. And old Häjk posted that. Drug boats. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. If you look at this, yeah, there it is. There he is shooting a missile, an RPG, right? RPG? Something rocket-propelled hand grenade, rocket-propelled grenade or something at a purported drug boat. Is that how they do it? Is he exposing military operations? Are they really using a helicopter to go after these? Or is it airstrikes from, like, planes or jets? Facing war crimes allegations, Pete Hegseth shares a Franklin targets narco-terrorists, a classic Franklin story of Franklin. He's all cute and with a army helmet on or something like that. And nice. It's cute, I guess, but whatever. Put in your Christmas wish list, said Pete Hegseth. I'm like, whatever. I'm not a fan of it, but I'm less of a fan of these people's overreactions. Another time, there was this gal who was the other gal who complained? Olivia Rodrigo. I feel like I might have heard that name before. All-American B-word. And her song was used in something, and she's all mad. If ICE finds you, Homeland Security posted it. And they put like this. That's a little loud, my bad. It's nasty, huh? Doesn't even probably sound that good. But they're, sending these people home where they belong. Get them out. They don't belong. They're not home. They sometimes think of this place as home. Some of them were raised here, whatever. But gotta do what's right. Right is right, and sending them home is right. And these people are complaining about it. What was this gal saying? She stated, "Don't ever use my songs to promote your racist, hateful propaganda," she wrote, according to Billboard and Rolling Stone. But she removed her reply since then, or it was removed. I don't know. What a mess. So all these liberal, communist, useful idiots exploiting the law and order and civilization that we have, exploiting it for tearing down the civilization that we have, attacking the people who are trying to preserve the civilization we have. Oh, yeah, T. Swift was all mad, right? Probably. Oh, no, has she? Oh, no, she stayed quiet this time. Nice. She's not so famous anymore. She's not in the top searches anymore for Wikipedia. The top searches for Wikipedia lately. Charlie Kirk for 2025. Most popular pages for far left extremist Wikipedia, Charlie Kirk. As well as deaths in 2025, that is. And one person whom I've never heard of, Ed Gein. Hopefully that's not something bad. And then Donald J. Trump, and then Pope Leo the 14th. Deaths in such and such year page has never fallen below third place since the list began in 2015. In the given year, I guess. Elon Musk jumped up 5 spots to number 6. Mr. Beast, a competitor of mine, I guess he's a YouTuber. Is he evil? Probably. Everybody is, right? Or is he all right? Is he an all right evil person? Number 18. T. Swift is not in the in the top 20 of the Wikipedia pages. And didn't she try to come out with some epic album? I haven't heard much of that since. Not that I really pay attention. Although I do like her hits. Morning Brew did not make the list. Neither did Häjk, I don't think. But nice. Stuff comes and goes. It comes and goes. There was a Chinese rocket that fell. It crashed. So Sabrina complaining. And I don't think that it's, of course it's fine what they're doing, but I don't like the meme stuff unless it's well done. But these aren't really well done. So do it more artistically. Hire some liberals to promote your propaganda, you know? Or some better people, better meme makers. What's funny is the liberals, they can't meme. They don't know what they're doing. And yet they're such good singers and artists and writers. But they can't meme. It's so weird. I don't get it. So anyway, Wikipedia, top 20. And China. Space is real. China knows it. Is China in on the space is fake stuff? I guess they are communists. They are Marxists, right? They crashed attempting to land today. Is that, what is that thing that you guys call? Is that...
Layers of chocolate.
Oh, Lord. Pardon me. Is that a... Oh,
Peppermint delight.
leave me alone. Is that, what is that thing called that you guys claim it is? Wow, money laundering too? Is that money laundering? Here, hopefully this gets finished. Get out of here, Ghirardelli's, you liberals. They're probably liberals, right? I disclaim and disavow Ghirardelli's chocolate. I went to their...
Videos circulating online show this Chinese reusable rocket booster crashing right next to the launch pad just as it tried to land
No world.
upright. This first ever attempt at relanding its first stage booster
Let me
came
do it
from
again.
Chinese space startup
Let me
Landspace.
start it over.
Videos circulating online show this Chinese reusable rocket booster crashing right
Would
next
you
to
get
the
rid
launch
of the
pad
black?
just as
My
it tried
good-
to land upright. This
Hold on.
first ever attempt at videos circulating online show this Chinese reusable rocket booster crashing right next to the launch pad
Wow.
just as it tried to land upright. This first ever attempt at relanding its first stage booster came from Chinese space startup Landspace, founded just 10 years ago. Now, Landspace says its rocket payload still reached
Wow.
orbit, and the exact cause of the failed recovery test is under investigation, according to Chinese state
That looks
media.
nice.
The crash certainly highlights the challenges of matching SpaceX and Blue Origin, American rivals that have faced explosive test flights. Even with the crash, this is
It
a
just
historic
falls.
first attempt for Landspace, and analysts say it signals how quickly China's startups are trying to catch up in the global race for reusable rockets.
Wow, look at that. Look at that thing. That is so cool. All right, so hopefully this is... See, what I don't like about your stuff, CNN, if you're watching, look how it all turns black and I can't appreciate what's in the video and it won't go away for a while. Obnoxious. All right, so that's enough of that. So Chinese space is real. China knows it. Get on board, space deniers. Space is Christian too. Okay, it's not atheist. Okay, quickly, these super chats. Greggatron states, shout out to Walking Roscoe. He is a good person. This is Greggatron, and I approve this message. Thank you, Greggatron. Walking Roscoe, Greggatron called you a good person, a good guy. Notice he didn't call him a good man, because no man is good. But you can be a good person or a good guy. And we know what you mean, right? Using the term good loosely. Greggatron says, Häjk, if you want to take a break, play this song. It's one of Pinnochio Helicopter's new joints. It's one of my favorites. I know you like pop music, pop culture. This goes hard. Does it sound like Sabrina Carpenter? If it doesn't, I don't want to hear it. Oh, I'm such a boomer. Hold on. Yeah. Hey, 80s or early 90s. What's up?
Obama is the fallen messiah.
Hey.
Do the silent prayer. Baby, everyone and their mama gonna vote for Trump. Forgive your mother, mommy Africa.
Total eclipse of the coon.
Amazing, there's no such thing as racism. I grew up on a plantation. America.
Nice. So it's made by Suno, via Suno. Nice work there. Total eclipse of the coon by Pinnochio's helicopter spreads kindness. Any links, JLP Talk and the Fallen State TV. You gotta put an HTTPS : / in front of the JesseLeePeterson.com/show if you want that to be a hyperlink there, buddy. And a HTTPS : locals.com/members/JesseLeePeterson ? Community _ID equals 37377. And an HTTPS : rebuildingtheman.com. I know. But at least he did the rebuildingtheman.com/prayer thing there. Nice. Appreciate the efforts. Thank you there, buddy. Sir? Oh, and it must have premiered because it has a chat. And I'll hit a like and comment. Nice. And I think I'm subscribed, right? I'm not subscribed. There, subscribed. Although I disclaim I neither endorse nor oppose that channel. I don't know it, but I just followed the tip. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the tip there, Greggatron. All right, so I think that I'm pretty well set. I think I see more, actually. Hold on. Yeah. Let me do this while I'm here. Do. Thanks again, Greggatron Popcorn. States or asks. What are your thoughts on people who immigrate to the United States, quote, parentheses, legally, later becoming opponents of legal immigration? I think that's quite understandable. And it's common because you'll notice each generation of immigrants gets worse and worse and worse and worse. Exceptions to the rule, but, it's become a big problem. Even in, 1848, I think. Remember the 48ers? The Germans who came over here in 1848? I think it was 1848-ish. They were considered the 48ers, as Asmodor told me and some others, and I recently saw it again on the internet, recently on the show. Immigrants are very hit and miss, just like people. Mostly they miss. I was watching a Surrounded episode where a guy who had legally immigrated here was arguing that we need to halt, stop all immigration to this country. Another participant, white U.S. born, on the show, was arguing that people should go back to their country of origin. And when the immigrant was confronted with the question, how do you feel that the guy who's on, quote unquote, your side doesn't want you in the country? He kind of went, ... ellipsis. I'm not here to debate him. I'm debating you. Nice. And don't you understand even the people who come here and then get naturalized, or they were born here to parents who came here? They're not necessarily for America. Or they're for what they think is for America, but really they're for communism. I'm not sure you've experienced this, but I have a secondhand embarrassment for the immigrant. Why do you have secondhand embarrassment for the immigrant? Of course, the people who are against immigration, like the white guy on the panel, will applaud when someone, even an immigrant, yells that immigration should stop because it amplifies their message. It's just always eye-opening and fascinating to me when the anti-immigration immigrants get their wake-up call and realize that if the anti-immigration folks, like the white guy on the panel, had his way and could push a button and the immigrant would be teleported back to the home country, he would do it. Yeah, but that's total imagination, and it's not personal. The white guy probably likes the immigrant somewhat. He'd be like, oh, you can stay. Or he'd be like, oh, you got to go. So what? People don't really love each other. Popcorn, you know that? And did you notice that even the immigrants who quote unquote love white people, they will turn on the whites. The foreigners, the non-whites who seem to love white people and all that, they will turn on the whites if they get offended. There's always, everybody is really about themselves. Unless you're a real Christian. Unless you're like Jesus or Trump or Jesse Lee Peterson or Derek, the black producer who's a Christian or whatever. There's just enough capacity, quote unquote, for them to immigrate here. And then it's a state of emergency. Close the doors. Yes, pull up the ladder. Who cares? I find it fascinating. What say you? It's all about who is adding to the country and making the country better versus who's taking away. I don't know how Anchor Baby feels about legal immigration. Hopefully he will weigh in. Oh, he is a ladder puller upper, unabashed, anti-Anchor Baby, Anchor Baby. And he'd even be fine if the country's like, you know what? We're nixing your Anchor Baby status. You're not an American. He would understand. And he knows that life is not what happens to you. So life is not over. Arguing for stopping immigration alongside people who want him gone as well is fascinating. What say you? That's how it is, Popcorn. You'll notice that if you were to stand with the blacks, for example, you'll find out they'll turn on you in a heartbeat. Nobody loves each other, left or right, pro or anti-immigration. All this immigrants welcome, refugees welcome stuff that's just for show. That's mama spirit, nicey nice, don't say stupid type stuff. Don't say stupid, President Trump. Even though the woman is stupid and running interference and defending the people who are destroying the country, don't say stupid. That type of stuff, you know? I am for people to be free to see things how they see things. It's kind of like John in Kentucky when he's like talking about over 2 years ago or more. It was when Asmodor was still alive. John in Kentucky said something like, even your white babies are going to be, you know, something sort of biblical reference. Because in the Bible times in the Old Testament, they didn't even spare the women or the children or the babies or the animals. The Israelites. And that's what he's thinking about, the white, harmless, innocent, if anything is innocent in this world. It's kind of like what the Declaration of Independence is, that brutal of independence, merciless Indian savages, no regard for old, young, women, sick, something like that. Let's find out if this is it. Merciless. There we go. This is one of the complaints about King whatever. Was it King George? Kids, do you know who it was? The king has excited domestic insurrections among us and has endeavored to bring on the inhabitants of our frontiers, the merciless Indian savages whose known rule of warfare is an undistinguished destruction of all ages, sexes, and conditions. Wow. Brutal. And yet, we still had American Indian friends among the founders and stuff, you know? And John in Kentucky, I didn't take that personally when I didn't even really think twice about it when John in Kentucky said that thing about killing the white babies, you know? Thank you, Richard DeLuna. Merry Christmas, y'all, by the way. Oops, I doxed him. Thank you, Richard, sir. Yeah. And yeah, like we could agree where we can and disagree where we can't. And it's not like that white guy really has that power. Like it's never going to happen. As much as some of us might wish that it would happen. Repatriate and denaturalize and revoke their different statuses. So that's what my thoughts are. He's free to have that, and he is. There's always going to be some unfair thing going on in any given situation. Always going to be some sort of an injustice in this world, no matter what is going on, no matter who's in charge, no matter what great or evil thing is happening, somebody's going to get helped. You know, like Obamacare was really great evil, terrible. But, you know, some people got life-saving treatment covered, quote unquote. That mama spirit. And yet it did great harm and evil. So there's always going to be some happy stories and some sob stories. So I wouldn't be embarrassed. Why would you be embarrassed for the immigrant? Because the immigrant he's right that we need to stop the immigration. And maybe they shouldn't have let him in. But he's one of the good ones, maybe. So, whatever, man. You're so judgmental there, popcorn. Nice. Thank you, sir. All right. Let's get back to the calls. Terry in Oregon is on the line over here. Terry, how's it going?
I'm well. How are you, Häjk?
I'm well as well. Thank you.
Cool. So, when you were talking earlier, I was reminded that I've been seeing a lot of these pieces in like local media of the impact of, you know, the terror around ICE being in communities. I don't know if you've seen them or anybody watching has, but there was one I saw recently about a like food cart pod that is in one of our one of the suburban towns here around this area, and how empty it was because of, you know, the terror around ICE and how it's impacting people not wanting to go out. You know, even people that are legal are afraid that they're going to get, you know, grabbed and all this nonsense.
Yeah.
I don't know. This wasn't the first time I saw it, but this was like in our, you know, it was something local. I'd seen it in like other places, like I think South Carolina or other areas. But I guess they're bringing them everywhere. These kind of pieces. I don't know how true they are, but it was weird to me. I don't know. The thing that like really, I guess, stood out to me is like people who aren't doing anything wrong are worried, but that doesn't make sense to me. It's not logical that if you're not doing anything wrong that you would have to worry.
Yeah, I agree with that. I could imagine that there has been and it is going to be some people who are here, quote unquote, legally, whether it's truly legal or shouldn't have been legal or whatever, get caught up in this sometimes. And you got to have understanding. What I would recommend for them, if any of them are listening or watching, have understanding, because this is a really desperate situation that the country is in. We've been overrun with illegals for decades. And now we have to do it the hard way, the harsh way, whereas we should have cut it off, nipped it at the bud so it didn't become a big problem. But now it's a big problem. We have to take strong measures. And this terror stuff is all in your imagination. You're imagining that, oh, it's going to be horrible. I'm going to be sent back, or I'm going to be in this cold cell with mosquitoes. Not that mosquitoes really like cold nowadays, but there were mosquitoes down in Alligator Alcatraz, I heard. That doesn't sound nice. But just stay out of your head about these things. And there's a lot of fear-mongering and propaganda with this anti-ICE stuff. And a lot of people are not friends of the country, who are elected officials, government officials, bureaucrats, even cops, even probably some ICE agents themselves are bad hombres. Don't fall for any of it. Yeah, it's terrible, man. And short term, there's going to be like shortages in places, in vacant. I noticed that the traffic was lighter during the raids over here. That was nice, but that didn't really last very long. What a mess.
Yeah, it's strange. I don't know. Yeah, there were all these videos coming out weeks ago, and like, I think it was in the Carolinas, where, you know, workplaces would be empty and a lot of businesses weren't. It's shocking to me to think that many people are in the country illegally.
Yeah, I was shocked to hear that 3% of New Orleans, which is not a small city, I don't think it's a small city, 3% are illegal. That's a significant percentage. And I guess that's the way in any major city where there's potentially work. They'll come here or potentially social services, welfare, and stuff like that.
Right.
What a mess.
I know. And, it's so weird. People compare it to, like, I saw people trying to compare it to, like, Italian immigration a number of times when the Italians were coming through, and a lot of them didn't have papers. But, like,
oh,
our
yeah,
country was
without
totally
papers.
different.
That's why they were called WOPs,
WOPs.
WOPs.
Yeah.
So they were coming here illegally, too.
Yeah, but also, I mean, the country was totally different then. There wasn't a social welfare system that they were opting into.
That's true. It was still tough.
Yeah. So, like, they weren't coming in and getting all their babies, you know, free food and WIC and housing and, you know, free medical care. And they didn't have any of that. So it's like it's applying like a totally different situation to that anyway. Not that I think, you know, people should have been coming here illegally anyway, but, you know, like, the situation wasn't the drain on the rest of the population that it is today.
Yep.
In terms of their tax money.
That's true. We have a welfare state, and that's why the smart libertarians are against this mass immigration stuff, because they know that we have a magnet that just brings these people here, and they're not contributors. So, yeah. If you're allowed to sink or swim, that's a different situation. Because then you're going to either go back, which I heard that a lot of people did, because it was too tough.
Yeah, I've heard that.
And I understand that. It can be tough. Imagine if you didn't have any family or friends or opportunities, even in the land of opportunity, to make it. People would go back. And that's how it kind of should be. A little bit more like that.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's just a mess. You know, they let so many people come here that, like, had nothing productive for them to do.
Yeah.
And it seems like intentional, obviously, to shift demographics and maintain power and control by destabilizing us, and also, you know, having a new batch of voters that will vote Democrat no matter what.
Yep. And it's not for the good of the country. It's not for the good of themselves or society at all. It's because they don't have our like Trump, like JLP has said, they don't have our values.
No, they don't.
And then their
And
children are
they
not
don't
educated
like
in our
about
values either.
and they don't like the country either. Like they talk, you see so many of them just like denigrate the country so much. Like, why are you here? Then get out. If you don't like it here, like
Yeah.
go home. If it's so bad here.
What's funny is they know white people. They like white people, and yet they also hate white people. But they think that white people are racist, but they also notice that white people are more like, they're more trustworthy. I think, they keep
More
their
fair.
neighborhoods cleaner. They're kinder. Yeah, fair. Yeah, exactly. They're more
meek
just.
as well. Like if somebody's like is angry at you or like racist towards you as a white person, you're less likely to take offense.
Yeah,
No.
true. Yeah, they'll take things in stride more and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
yet they turn around and act like white people are horrible. Like my friends were literally speculating that I was a Nazi at one point. And I'm like the nicest guy. I'm like, why are you so deeply in your head and your imagination about things just because I have my political opinions about right and wrong and stuff like that? It's so crazy, but I guess that's that blindness. You think your friend is your enemy, friend being the white people, are your enemy, and you think your enemy, meaning the socialist politicians and one another and their own thoughts, are their friends, and that's not.
It's amazing to me too how much the Nazi word gets thrown around when like it's not even, well, it's not accurate, but it's just a slur that they can throw around to make somebody appear like a villain.
Yeah.
And once they label you that, and people are comfortable with labeling you a fascist or a Nazi, then they can, silence you, but also like dehumanize you and
Yep.
justify anything bad that happens to you.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, look at what they did to Charlie Kirk after he died. Not Charlie Kirk, but they justified in their minds his murder because they're so hateful. They projected their hatred on him. And
that was really sickening. It really was.
Yeah.
Like, I can't, I don't know. It was so disturbing to, have a assassination like that happen in the first place. And, he was always such a corny kind of guy, in my opinion. I never really paid much attention to him,
Yeah. He was
and
like this
yet
harmless.
he still managed to be so offensive.
Yeah. Well, that's just the evil of people unmasked. The evil that has a hold of people. It's just unmasked there.
There's a proverb that came to my mind when I read that article about the poor food cart pod. And it, what is it? The wicked flee though no man pursueth, but the righteous are as bold as a lion. But I just think about that, like people hiding, though they now have nothing to hide. It's because they know there's something wicked about what they're about and what they're doing.
Yeah. A guilty conscience.
Yeah, like even, I'm here legally, but I'm going to hide. Well, that's on you. It sounds like you're guilty conscious. Like maybe you're taking advantage, or
True.
you're harboring people, or that you're, maybe a drain on the system.
Totally. Interesting. I appreciate it, Terry.
Yeah.
Great call.
Thanks for taking my call. Take care.
All right. You as well.
Bye.
Bye. What a mess. Everyone, make sure you catch Punchie TV happening today. All right? But American Anchor Baby is going to happen before that. Let me just make sure, see if he's set up and scheduled. I don't see it yet. But do catch American Anchor Baby. I'll check again at maybe a half an hour till. He's scheduling his bad, I guess. Even though it says Derek. Nice. Right on. Yeah, so Punchie TV, and we have that new producer, Kurt. So tune in, it's fun. Last week we talked a little bit about Thanksgiving and other things. And this week, tune in and find out. American Anchor, baby, and Punchie, Punchie TV. Very nice. Okay. Was there anything else here in the news that I wanted to touch on? I like this story a little bit. People are being sober, and that's nice. The news is, and I've heard it before, that people are being sober, even when they're partying. It makes a lot of sense because isn't alcohol a depressant? Something like that? I thought it was a depressant. It puts you to sleep. Here, let's find out. More people are partying. So I had heard about this since like for years. I haven't really looked into it. From Drudge, far left extremist Drudge. Sorry, Drudge. Report. For years, they've been talking about people going to like water bars. Bass, not bass, I'm pretty sure. Bass without the booze, alcohol, why people are partying sober. I used to do this. I would go to my friend's house, you know, for Halloween parties. We're Christian, though. And New Year's Eve parties. And I would go to, you know, concerts and shows, same thing. And would not drink anything, even though other people were drinking. And I was just fine, having fun. You know, the people around, it was amusing, entertaining. And I would sometimes like dance around and stuff. And I also wanted to do that and not be drunk. It's better. You're more healthy. You have more energy, and you have a little bit more. You're not going to get incapacitated in a compromising place. Safer. It's better to be sober, especially in like places where you don't trust. But a lot of people are doing this stuff now, and they're doing like raves. And so it's not like they're not drugging themselves up on whatever entertainment, and hopefully they're not taking other drugs. Who knows? Alcohol-free matcha raves, like the tea type of thing, in Singapore, boomed in popularity. Venues embracing in the U.S. cities soft clubbing, soft drinks, sody pop. No, sober curious gatherings. So funny, like it's a curiosity to be sober nowadays. Right on. That's nice. 43-year-old House of Happiness co-founder Neil Hudson-Basing. Late 20s, mid-40s. People as old as 80 have attended their events. Partying and dancing and music is for everyone. Remember those all-ages places? Sometimes those were trouble. That's where some, like, serial R-word iller case, R-wordist iller case, rapist killers, rapist murderers, would hang out and target the young ladies or girls, post-pubescent girls. Terrible. I heard, you know, in the little TV show things that I've seen over time, clubbing. Just no drugs or alcohol. I mean, it might be wise because nowadays people are getting stuck with like syringes and needles in these places. I don't know, man. I don't know. This guy gave up drugs and alcohol 6 years ago, motivated partly by problematic drinking and drug taking. You know, a lot of people like die early, and a lot of the guys who are alive to this day and kicking and healthy and still at it in their 70s and 80s. Trump himself doesn't do the drugs or the drinking. Right on. Respect. Consumption and overconsumption embedded in nightlife culture, and that's degenerating. That's nice. I don't know about the pot that they're doing. I heard that with pot, 5 times, according to some billboard I saw driving this away, 5 times the danger of, what's that thing where you have 2 personalities? It's not exactly only a 2 personality thing, but I'm a and so am I. You know the what about Bob joke? Schizophrenia. That's nice, I guess. Mindfulness or well-being focused. Focused on the spirit of having a good time. Oh, cover up. Nasty. Don't stay away from that one. But anyway, that's what they're doing. Isn't that nice? Kind of, that's all right. I'm for that. I'm not against it anyway. Look, this is the guy who won, by the way. The Republican, Matt Van Epps. And he only won by 9 points. They're acting like, oh, they almost had an upset. He won by 9 points in this special election. Republicans dodged a potentially embarrassing upset. Dodged it by 9 points. That's a pretty clear dodge. You playing dodgeball, missed you by a foot. And sometimes with dodgeball, when you're throwing the dodgeball, you stand in a circle and throw it at the people. Not one team versus the other. I don't like that one. I like the one where it's a big circle and they, like elementary school dodgeball. I don't like high school dodgeball. Or that dumb movie. Not that I saw it, so I'm just ignorantly calling it dumb. Who's the dumb one? But he defeated, and you're kind of supposed to do like tricks and make it look like it was close. Skins don't count. He didn't dodge it. He easily avoided getting upset by Aftyn Behn. Just as a little side note. Oh, a woman. Mildly attractive. She was a Tennessee state representative, and she wanted to run for the real Congress. 36 years old. Van Epps wins. But she gained ground. Of course she gained ground, because this guy is no Donald J. Trump. Ridiculous. Trump won by 22 points in that district. And, there's all this drama about Epstein and this drama about, electricity is high. The economy is kind of bad. Trump's tariffs have not kicked in for the long-term good yet. It's kind of short-term rough right now still. Or whatever it's going to happen. I don't know. But Trump, Bill Lee, Mike Johnson endorsed that guy and beat out that gal, not beat up that gal. So isn't that nice? Okay, Matt Van Epps handily beat Aftyn Behn. What kind of a name is that anyway? Where is she from? What is this gal? Just curious. Tennessee Justice Center, healthcare organizer. Let's early life check this gal. I wonder if she's even Southern. Looks like a pretty Southern gal, but she could be a foreigner. Who knows even what? Let's find out. She was a Girl Scout. Pfft. Boo. Got her bachelor's degree in liberal arts and psychology. What else? They don't even say anything about her early life, really. Democrat. These people, man. Fearless leadership. She called herself a leadership person. Puts people first. Everybody thinks they put people first. Look at that gal. She should be like on the PTA, maybe. Is she a mother? Is she even... Never mind, I'm not going to make jokes. You guys are degenerates. You guys call everybody a man who's really a woman. You ought to be ashamed of yourselves. Thanks again, Richard, for that Merry Christmas. Or is it Merry Xmas? I did prove that X stands for Christ. You know what's unjust? Speaking of justice for all, right? I don't like what they did to my competitor. And the Supreme Court, this was over a month ago. Scott Adams posted this. The great, not late, all right? He's doing okay as far as I know. Still kicking. My competitor's ridiculous, ruthless ruling against him, the Supreme Court didn't take it up. Now what? Asks Scott Adams. Can he ever make a living? Owen Gregorian posts, the U.S. so-called Supreme Court rejects Alex Jones' appeal against the 1.4 billion with a B Sandy Hook shooting defamation ruling. According to Euro News, the U.S. Supreme Court, so-called, upheld the $1.4 billion judgment against Alex Jones, my competitor, for his Sandy Hook hoax claims. A 1.4 billion? No wonder I disclaim. Info here may be false. Rejecting his appeal. Don't harass. You know? Jones' bankruptcy and asset liquidation. And don't mass shoot. Oh, my goodness. Bankruptcy and asset liquidation continue. The U.S. Supreme Court rejected an appeal from a conspiracy theorist, Alex Jones, on Tuesday, left in place of 1.4 billion, 1.2 billion euros, or euros, judgment against him over his description of the 2012 Sandy Hook Elementary School as a hoax staged by crisis actors, which he probably, he said that kind of in passing, kind of speculating, and then being like, but I don't know what happened. It may be, maybe not. That type of thing, you know? Because you'll make a claim, and then you're like, you don't actually mean that. You know, it happens all the time. It's how normal people talk. But it's best to be clear when you're, you know, the news, because the courts are not just. These so-called justices are anything but just. They're anti-justice. Those who are against this, taking this up. Unless Clarence Thomas was against taking this up. I don't know if Clarence Thomas was. Anyway, he said the judge was wrong to find him liable for defamation. Liable for defamation. An infliction of emotional distress without holding a trial on the merits of the allegations lodged by relatives of victims of the victims of the shooting in 2012, in which Adam Lanza shot his mother and then went to the school and shot the kids and the young people and the children and maybe some adults. Adam Lanza, and then killed himself, I think. And it was a liberal town, Newtown, Connecticut. See, part of the problem is these are liberal towns, and these liberals don't know whom to blame or what to blame. They blame the guns. And they blame the First Amendment and Second Amendment people. The justices did not comment on their order, which they issued without even asking the families of the Sandy Hook victims to respond to Jones' appeal. An FBI agent responded to the shooting, also sued. A lawyer who represents Sandy Hook families said the Supreme Court had properly rejected Lone's latest desperate attempt to avoid accountability for the harm he has caused. Evil lawyers, right? We look forward to enforcing the jury's historic verdict and making Jones and InfoWars pay for what they have done, said Christopher Mattei, stated. And so, blah, 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 blah. Plaintiffs have no possible hope of collecting the entire judgment. I imagine not. It's not. Is he even a billionaire? Separately appealing the $149 million judgment in Texas, failed to turn over documents. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah. Persecution. Persecution of an American patriot. Terrible, huh? Here, let me see if I can repost this. So that was back in October 15th. It was like a month and a half, more than a month and a half ago. But it's shameful. Reminds me of this other thing that I happened across. I don't know if I. Oh, I know. Don't look at my DMs, guys. Yeah, here it is. What was that? Lord have mercy. Okay, so what? Why is it doing that? That's so funny. Complicated business, folks. There we go. Okay, so this is what Anchor Baby is probably going to cover this, all right? More thoroughly, or, in a different way. But Justice Thomas, and I'm not a fan of these pro-life women stuff. Pro-life women always get the liberals and the communists on their side, all right? So, but this was Soros, DA, or whatever this guy is, AG, director of the New Jersey Division on so-called Civil Rights, Office of the New Jersey something or other. Sundeep Iyer. Nice American name. Not. But he looks like he's American. He looks kind of Mexican or he's Indian or whatever, right? Sundeep, more of an India, I think, sort of a name. Fellowship for New Americans, Soros, said Cerno, stated Cernovich. And he's like legitimately chilling a Democrat AG, Attorney General, open an investigation into a Christian charity for no reason at all. Zero complaints. Show me the Christian and I'll show you the crime. And then you have Justice Clarence Thomas, who doesn't speak much. He makes his words count, unlike the black woman on the Supreme Court, who just constantly runs her mouth. Check this out. It's about a pregnancy center where, those pregnancy crisis centers where they say, you don't have to kill the baby. We'll help you out. Oh, Lord. Do I have it muted? Let's see if this will play. Is it playing? Isn't it? Oh, no wonder it's not playing. I'm such a boomer. Here we go.
Did you have complaints that formed the basis of your concern about the fundraising activities here?
We certainly had complaints about crisis pregnancy centers that petition.
No, about this crisis pregnancy center.
So I think we've been clear from the outset that we haven't had complaints about this specific.
So you had no basis to think that they were deceived.
Do you hear the up talk, the voice inflection? He talks like a girl. Shout out, guys who talks like girls. He can't help it. He's liberal. He's educated.
Think that they were deceiving any of their contributors.
I don't think that's correct, Your Honor. I think we had carefully canvassed all of the public information that is provided on the website of First Choice in making a determination that
First Choice is the name of the pregnancy center. You know how the women want to be like, oh, I'm pro-choice. Well, your first choice is to have the baby and have these do-gooders help you take care of the baby.
we wanted to initiate an investigation.
But you had no factual basis.
I don't think that's true, Your Honor. I think, for example, you could take a look at a comparison between the donation page for First Choice that we have carved out from the very
So
beginning.
you had no complainants.
We had no complaints, but the state governments, federal government, initiate investigations all the time in the absence of complaints where they have a reason to suspect that there could be potential issues of legal compliance. And look, it could be the case, based on our investigation, when we look at documents, when we look at information, that ultimately will determine that First Choice isn't liable for any violation
Well,
of
that
the law.
just seemed to be a burdensome way to find out whether someone has a confusing website. But you said earlier that you did not agree with their characterization of why they were being put to this. And it would seem that the obvious way to refute that was to say we had 100 complaints. But you say you have no complaints.
Wow.
But rather you looked at the website and their materials and you think it could have been misleading. So why is your characterization any better than theirs?
So, Your Honor, I'd point you to the Turner Declaration, which is at pages 400 to 401 of the Joint Appendix, which lays out the predicate for the state's investigation of First Choice. And we had concerns in 4 buckets. We had concerns about potentially misleading donors. We had concerns about the unlicensed practice
misleading donors?
medicine. We had concerns about patient privacy practices, and we had concerns about potentially misleading or untrue medical statements. So I think we had a more than ample basis to initiate this
But you
investigation.
had no complainants.
And we had no complaints, but I think that, Your Honor, that goes at most to the merits. That doesn't go to the standing analysis.
Crazy, huh? What a mess. Targeting, investigating, and then mischaracterizing and saying potential this, potential that, potential this, potential that. Justice Thomas, according to Caitlin Richardson, interesting spelling of Caitlin, Justice Thomas forces the New Jersey AG's chief counsel to admit the state issued a subpoena for a pro-life pregnancy center's donors without receiving a single complaint about the organization. In other words, dox the donors and get all the information out of the organization so you can find something wrong that they did. Just like what they tried to do with Trump, just like what the IRS under Obama did to the Tea Party, different Tea Party nonprofits, and different election integrity profits, you know, voter ID, pro-voter ID groups and stuff like that, and people who want to make sure, watch the polls and make sure there's no cheating going on. Obama administration was targeting all those patriotic American conservative organizations, and there was not even a smidgen, Obama said to O'Reilly back then. And they're doing it to this day. Just pretending like, oh, there could be something wrong here. Let's find something wrong. And she posts on a Daily Caller website, Justice Thomas exposes the Democrat officials for having no basis to investigate a pro-life pregnancy center. And if you go down here, you'll find out the ACLU, Civil Liberties, Union. Even the ACLU was concerned because First Choice, the pregnancy center, said that, using the subpoena power or any other power to censor, regulate, or chill disfavored speech violates the First Amendment. So they agreed in an amicus they had a beef with their fellow liberals, fellow pro-abortion liberals. First Choice is alleged that in this case, and it's sufficient to state a justiciable First Amendment claim, whatever. Justiciable? Huh. I don't know. I'm not familiar with this. Justiciable. Side note. Justiciable. Of a state or action subject to a trial in a court of law. Whatever, anyway. But I noticed that the ACLU only pretends to side with women or the Nazis when the Nazis are going to make themselves look bad, are going to fall into a trap to make them look bad, right? Because the ACLU sided with the Unite the Right guys. And people are like, oh, even the ACLU sided. Alliance Defending Freedom, I've heard of them. They supported I think they're helping First Choice maybe. Not sure. But pro-life pregnancy centers, according to Daily Caller, provided an estimated $452 million worth of services to around 1 million new clients in 2024 per November report. I don't know if that's just in the state of New Jersey or what. That would be a lot, right? Maybe that's America. I don't know. Nearly 100 pro-life centers and groups have faced attacks since Dobbs versus Jackson Women's Health when they struck down Roe v. Wade decision. Leaked in 2022. Remember they leaked it? According to Catholic Vote. Catholics are only good on one thing, pro-life. They're horrible on everything else. They feed the poor. Boo. They are for illegals staying here. Boo. Get out of here, Catholics. Shout out. Some Catholics are based, of course. First Choice's case is not the only litigation pregnancy centers have faced. The Second Circuit Court of Appeals allowed not just New Jersey, but New York. New York Attorney General Tish James, Big Tish. I don't know if she calls herself Big Tish. Who calls her Big Tish? That seems disrespectful. Is she taller than me? Are her arms bigger than mine? Letitia James, Monday, to tell... Okay, they sued by a New York Attorney General forcing... Oh, the Second Circuit Court of Appeals allowed pregnancy centers to tell women about abortion pill reversal using progesterone. That's what I was trying to tell JLP about today on the JLP show. Colorado attempted to ban abortion pill reversal. Imagine a woman like takes an abortion pill and she's like, oh, no. It's like after you jump off a bridge after you're trying to suicide, say, and you suddenly change your mind. It happens. And you're like, oh no, what did I do? Don't die. And you curl up into a ball or whatever and you mess up your spine, but you live. It happens. And so you can't really, you know how you swallow and then you're like, oh wait, and you unswallow it? Sometimes you can unswallow, but in this case, they had a progesterone to reverse the abortion pill. Nice. So Colorado tried to ban it, but a federal judge struck down the ban in August. That's nice, right? So sometimes the judge will do the right thing, but overall they don't. Or so much of the time they don't. That's why I don't really believe in suing lawsuits and taking things to court. Sometimes it's best to settle things out of court. Most of the time, probably. Because think about that. They're just making money off of you. These lawyers. I mean, some of these guys are doing it pro bono for free. And then they're raising money to... It's not free to them because they have to make a living, right? So people donate to these organizations. But it's a big mess. People donate to evil organizations too. Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression. So what a mess, huh? And it went all the way to the Supreme Court. Degenerates. But I don't like and I don't trust pro-life women. Now, I like you, but I don't trust you. And I don't trust the ACLU either, or whatever. Nice. All right, where am I? My goodness, it's been plenty of time, right? Versus and pro-life center versus NJ Soros lawyers. Degenerates. All right, so let me read some super chats here. At least Daily Caller didn't bombard me with a bunch of ads like they seem to have do. RT Art. What is that thing? I use palette, paint palette. Too smart, brain. Thumbs up. American flag. Nice. Walking Roscoe says, evening, Jim. Evening, Jim. I thank Sir Greggatron for the kind words and forward this shout out to our pal and brother from Canada, Cloud Bops. Doxed as Canadian. Who knew? Mayor of the Snake Pit. Wow. Cloud Bops always gives me 5. Give me 5. Up high. Down low. Too slow. 5. Zzz. Shut up, Hake. Don't say shut up, kids. Not too much anyway. Let's see here. Nice. Cesar Caesar, sup, Hake? I loved hearing that one coffee on JLP mentioning how the people of DR, Dominican Republic, rejected the building of the Muslim temple. It's a mosque, man. Temples are Christian or usually that not Christian. They're more like Chinese or other Asian, like Jewish. Is Israel in Asia? Is it considered Asian? Dominicans can be based sometimes. Yeah. You guys are way better. You're Dominican, right? You guys are way better than the Haitians. Now, I like Haitians. They're stylish, but they're so uncivilized oftentimes. Also, that video of Trump being based when he said we don't want Somalians here was epic. Totally, man. Totally epic. That was a great segment on the Jesse Lee Peterson show. We need another strong leader to run this country after Trump can no longer run anymore. Yeah. But no longer run anymore is a little bit redundant. It's redundant. Because no longer run is enough. Or cannot run anymore. I don't know. But whatever. Lastly, did you get a chance to check out that meme I sent you on X stating the statistics of white population in the world over the past years? The meme was supported by Elon himself. I haven't checked that out. I haven't been checking my DMs. I ought to do that. I got to check my emails too. Because I sent an email to somebody. Have a great day, peoples. Tan Dominican skinned celebration hands. Yes, emoji. Thank you, Cesar or Caesar. And it looks like I'm all caught up for the most part. Oh, let me set up the redirect on American Anchor Baby. Customization, redirect. Hey, there he is. Nice. So do catch. He's on rumble.com/American Anchor Baby. I don't see that live quite set up yet. I wonder if it's his Gorgon's Ola. Sometimes you set up on the user account by accident. But it may be there just cookies, Who knows? But he is set up for the redirect on YouTube. Catch it. Rick from Hampton, VA is on the line over here. Rick, thank you for calling, sir, and holding. What's up?
Man, my brother James, man. I tell you, let me give you the 411 from Hampton, VA. Man, let me tell you, man, they had a fastest restaurant. It's been on the news and on YouTube. It's called Fork and Bull Restaurant, okay? It was two black girls in that. It was two girls in that fighting. Now, I got to say this to the women. Women, when y'all go anywhere, please wear some underwears, please. It was one girl. It was a high class restaurant. Where you come there to dress business attire. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So one girl had on like she was working out in the gym, and then the other one had on a real short skirt. And when they was fighting, her skirt came up. There wasn't nothing there but her birthday suit.
Terrible.
So, and then security, man, they didn't know whether to touch a girl without no underwear. They like,
I
know. They like that, man. I don't want them holler harassment around here. So,
what a mess.
or either racism. And then it was 9 other black women there. They were like saying, somebody need to break the fight up. I figured it was 9 of them. They should have tried to break it up. But I guess they probably saying, well, it's their responsibility to have security, but you shouldn't have to have security at no restaurant like that. If you know what I'm saying, James?
Yeah, totally, man.
But anyway, now you got the NAA, the useless NAACP in on it now, and then the 9 women, the 9 black ladies went and got them an ambulance chaser. So now they trying to sue. Yeah, so now they're trying to sue the restaurant for discrimination, but I don't believe that was discriminate. He said the reason they are sort of 9 black women asked, why do you ask us to leave? And the management, they said the management said, because y'all like to fight too much.
It's true, man. So, they got to get a hold of themselves.
Right. Matter of fact, just what Jesse showed earlier today. I don't know, was that 3 people jumping on one guy?
I don't remember. But
Jesse showed one.
This type of thing happens all the time now, where you get mobbed. People get mobbed now, stomped on and beaten and kicked and hit and smacked with the pizza box.
Oh man, James, we had a murder this past Saturday at our mall in Newport News, Virginia.
Wow.
2 kids brought guns in there. So the guy that was trying to stick the other kid up, he happened to get the gun from him. And then he dropped the gun, and he took his gun and shot him.
Man.
Now, the question going to come with him is, what are you doing carrying the gun? Do you have a license to carry that gun? But probably in that situation, he probably would have been dead if he would have had his gun.
Right. Yeah, totally.
So, and, Jay, it was a mess, man. And I hope they don't win because those black folks at that restaurant, they sue them. That restaurant got to close. That's less place they're going to have to go to. And, you know, that's it. What would you have done, James, in that situation?
I would stay out of there. I would stay out of the situation best I can and get out. Because people, you can get seriously hurt or worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the manager came in and asked the black women to leave. Now, I don't know if I would have asked the black women to leave. They wasn't part of the group.
Oh.
But they're going to have a hard time proving that they told them to leave because they were black. If I'm management, I would just say, hey, I asked them to leave because I thought they was part of the crew, even though my security camera showed me that they wasn't. But I heard them talking like somebody regular. I thought they was all part of the crew.
Yeah.
Now you got to prove that he was racist. How can you see through somebody's heart?
Well, the problem with lawsuits is you don't actually have to prove anything. You just have to make the jury or the dumb judge or whoever's making the judgment think, oh, that might be true actually, and then they fall for it, and then you suffer even though you did nothing wrong. Sometimes, what a mess.
Exactly. What you just said too. I hate to go to court too because you never know who you're gonna get.
Yep.
Never know who you're gonna get on court. Best thing, do what's right, stay out your anger, and stay out of court because they got these liberal judges.
Liberal lawyers, liberal juries.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's in their emotions. There's no one that think on good and evil hardly no more. I don't know if anyone even left, James, to be truthful.
Yeah. No love, for sure not.
You know, I don't even know.
Yep.
And I'm interested. Y'all keep an eye on that case. It's in Chesapeake, Virginia, to see do they win their lawsuit.
Okay.
Which I hope they can work that out. You know, and but they said I was embarrassed. You know, somebody asked me to leave a restaurant, I would leave. I'm not gonna make you serve me. I'm gone.
For sure.
I mean, I think blacks need to start building their own restaurants. Blacks love to go. They love to go to other folks'
the
restaurants.
servers, and nobody likes them to be there.
Yep.
You notice that? That's what I've heard.
Yes, sir.
Terrible.
We are some of the worst tippers. And then we sit there and be at the table forever.
And worse complainers,
too.
Attitude and everything.
Yeah.
Shameful.
And the least the tip. And
yeah,
there's nothing wrong with tipping, man. I tip anywhere from 18 to 20%. Better if it's even good service, you know.
That's the old school way.
And here's the thing, too. Now, James, I think everything you do now, people want to tip.
I know. Yeah.
You go there and go get your own food, serve it yourself, and they still want to tip.
Yeah, and the tipping.
What do you think about that, James?
It's out of control, and the tipping amount is getting higher and higher to where you're getting suggested tips of like 35% or more. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And
now,
some people are doing it,
Grubhub,
messing up the economy.
Now, DoorDash and Grubhub, I believe in tipping them because they are providing a good service. You like, hey, I don't feel like going to give them. I'm going to call Grubhub. The man using his car.
Right.
And most of them, they actually tip 5%, you know, because I'm telling you, just to change oil is now expensive. I never, you know, a quart of oil back in 10 years ago, maybe 15, it cost like $1.79. A quart of oil almost cost you $8 a quart.
Wow, I wasn't aware of that. I don't really.
Yeah.
I don't change my oil that much. Thankfully, I don't drive enough to.
Well, it's cheaper to go to the dealership and let them change it.
Wow, that's bad.
Yeah. If you go like buy a quart of oil, it's gonna run you almost $8 a quart. So you need 4 of them, so that's $32 just for your oil. You still need your oil filter, and then I ain't counting the labor, so you might as well let the dealership do it for about $40 or $50.
Oh, the dealership over around here, it feels like the dealership would cost $100, $150 around here. But even if you go to the drive-through ones, they're like $70 or whatever over here.
Yeah. And then they want to say the highest oil they got, the synthetic oil. They want to say the synthetic oil. And
Totally.
I always go at the oil that's in your manufacturer's book. If your manufacturer's book says 5W30, use 5W30.
Interesting.
Because everything they
follow
the highest,
follow the
man.
instructions.
Absolutely. Oh, get this premium gas. Well, my instruction manual said I can use the 87. Well, get a super premium. And now you're paying extra for the super premium.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah.
Well, it's fun talking with you, Rick, in Hampton, VA,
Hey,
man.
that's the latest news from Hampton, VA. Check that out, man. I think that's entertaining, man. And and as I said before, women, wherever y'all go anywhere, please wear underwear, especially if you're a school teacher, because you may get to wrestle with these students, and you get arrested, and you ain't got no underwear on, and the whole staff member looking at you because you should have came there prepared anyway.
Yeah. It's called
You know,
decency.
Exactly my point.
Yep.
So you got a teacher got to mess around and got to contain a student, and they get to wrestling. And the students, they're prepared. They're in jeans and stuff. And here the teacher got a dress on, no underwear, and then the whole school looking at her laughing at her. And I know her husband should take her home and chastise her once she get home.
What a mess.
Yes, sir.
Well, thanks for sharing, Rick.
No problem, man. Y'all keep an eye on that story, because it's interesting to see how the outcome going to be.
All right. Take care,
Yes,
man.
sir. Love you, James. Thanks for taking my call, brother.
Thank you. Bye. And a super chat, a Rumble rant from over on Rumble from, who was that? Base Nation? Who was that? Let me check. Yeah, Base Nation, very generous, wrote this on, here, let me just post it on the chat. Häjk, Ripårt. And I'm not sure how to say this. I can't find it on my Rumble right now because Rumble doesn't keep chat very well. Rumble stinks. But let me find it on the YouTube chat. See if I can find it. Nice super chats. Thanks, guys. Okay, so, why did I do it like that? Copy. Paste. I know. But how do you pronounce? Watch, they're gonna... Yation. Wow, you stink. You stink, Google. How come it came up with a solution from me? Oh, Lord. Here, let me find Grok. Maybe Grok will know. The name, well, that's not exactly Häjk or Häjk, but that's not what I wrote. I wrote the H-A with the two dots, G-J-K, Ripårt, with the circle over it. Häjk, the Häjk news, Ripårt. Nice, thank you. So has the A with the two dots and the J, but you put the AE combined thing. Let's see if Grok knows. You're absolutely right. My bad. Is it bag or bad, Grok? The correct Swedish spelling is with the A with the two dots, the A umlaut. Not Häjk. Report. So the E is in bed in German. Huh? The A is sounding like bed. Häjk. Okay, Häjk. Much better. The J makes it very sound like an I. Häjk. Häjk. Report. Nice. Thank you. So it's like a sort of a phonetic fancy spelling. Oh, I got to get out of here. American Anchor Baby coming up next, guys. Peace in the Middle East. Or at least in your hearts. Bye.